Senior Trump advisor Elon Musk has faced repeated and very personal attacks since he's teamed up with President Trump and started Doge. The left has called him everything from a con man to an oligarch, and even worse than that. Well, now Musk says he is done with this, and he shot back at Bowman's comments, posting, "I've had enough, lawsuit inbound."
I've been saying it for a while.
Yes, you have.
I've been saying that I think Elon Musk believes he's president. I do.
Well, you've been calling him vice president.
I've called him vice president. I called him president because I don't know what JD is doing. I hardly ever say. I don't remember the last time we even talked about JD.
You're right. He's planning the presidency when they get rid of Trump.
So you think it's Musk Vance?
Possible.
Hey, you know who? Stay away from the stairways. Because, people put the leg out to trip you going down the stairs.
Picture Elon Musk casually watching The View, sipping his latte like it's just another Tuesday. Then out of nowhere, he goes, "You know what? Let's shut this clown show down." Next thing you know, boom, $200 million defamation lawsuit. And now she's panicking like it's Black Friday and someone just put her dignity on clearance. Did Elon just flip daytime talk into a full-blown financial disaster? Did joy really come for the guy who builds rockets in his free time? Oh, it gets even wilder. This isn't just some petty court case. This is Musk versus madness. And the chaos is straight up cinematic.
The shrews of The View couldn't sink any lower. They go and surprise you by mocking a cute little child. Apparently, Elon Musk's 4-year-old son X is fair game because Whoopi, yes, Whoopi Goldberg, has decided to mock his name.
Yesterday, Elon Musk took his son X to a press conference. I did not name the child. And I don't want to hear any more mess about our names, okay?
It all kicked off on what seemed like a totally normal weekday, the kind where Elon Musk usually drops some weird tweet about AI becoming your mom, or casually unveils a cyber toaster that runs on rocket fuel. But instead of launching another dystopian gadget, he did something even more unhinged. He hit The View with a $200 million defamation lawsuit. Yeah, The View, the same show that mixes lattes with loud opinions and moral takes that sound like they were Googled 5 minutes before airtime.
What? X is an adorable name, and perhaps a grown woman who named herself Whoopi should refrain from mocking a 4-year-old for the name his parents gave him. Yes, Whoopi picked that name for herself. She's actually Karen Elaine Johnson. Now, how did Karen become Whoopi? You're going to love this. According to Goldberg, once I started getting parts in plays, I wanted a name that sounded more interesting. Karen Johnson wasn't it. Some people at the rep called me Whoopi because I would let loose with a fart. Just charming, charming.
Apparently, Elon finally hit his billionaire breaking point. And honestly, can you even blame him? After sitting through years of screaming panelists, tossing out headache-inducing takes on everything he does, from the scandal of walking through a door the wrong way to the absolute crime of, God forbid, buying Twitter. Yeah, he was done. When daytime talk starts coming at you like you're the final boss in some low-budget soap opera, even the dude launching rockets decides it's time to fire back with lawsuits.
Now I'm getting some flack because I said that Musk was pro-apartheid. I don't really know for sure if he was. He grew up at that time when apartheid was in full bloom before the great Nelson Mandela fixed that. He was around at that time, but maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. He might have been a young guy, too.
Might have been.
So don't be suing me, okay, Elon? They're allowed to say any lie they want, but we have to be really strict. That's why this show's important.
Yeah, it is.
And this wasn't some gentle warning. This was a full-blown, gold-plated, diamond-encrusted legal warhead delivered with a spicy side of cease and desist energy. Musk wasn't looking for an apology. He was aiming for total financial destruction. The lawsuit read less like a legal document and more like a personal vendetta wrapped in fancy lawyer speak. According to his legal team, this wasn't about hurt feelings. This was defamation so wild, it made supermarket tabloids look like peer-reviewed journals.
Yeah, so I think we need to be very cautious about anything that is anti-meritocratic and anything that is that results in the suppression of free speech. So, those are two of the aspects of the woke mind virus that I think are very dangerous. is that it's often anti-meritocratic. You can't question things. Even the questioning is bad. So, another way to almost synonymous would be cancel culture. And obviously, people have tried to cancel you many times.
Many times.
Yeah, I mean,
every week.
Yeah.
From left and right. I've had it from both sides.
When your whole brand is built on tech, stock markets, and being a less expressive Tony Stark, a hit like that isn't just messy, it's expensive. Now picture the women of The View realizing they just smacked a billionaire hornet's nest. Not an actual one? Musk hasn't built that yet, but close enough. That lawsuit landed like a meteor straight onto their sparkle-covered stage. And just like that, it stopped being about bad hot takes and overpriced coffee mugs. It became a legal nightmare. The real panic? Oh, that happened off camera. On screen, it was still the usual act, fake concern, smug chuckles, and total cluelessness about how the internet even works. But behind the scenes, the network's legal team was scrambling. This kind of lawsuit doesn't just bruise egos, it shakes boardrooms. The View isn't some scrappy YouTube channel running out of a spare bedroom. It's a massive operation with big money contracts, nervous advertisers, and execs in tailored suits, popping antacids. And suddenly, daytime TV's drama factory started looking more like a financial sinkhole.
Elon Musk now being a special government employee, which means he has top security clearance, but he doesn't have the obligations that a full federal employee has, so he doesn't have to give the same amount of disclosures. He has less conflicts of interest. And it seems to me that when I put my legal hat on, what Donald Trump is trying to do is he's trying to expand the powers of the executive branch. The top of the judicial branch is the Supreme Court, which he has packed with loyalists. So in my view, I think he's causing a constitutional crisis intentionally so that this goes to the Supreme Court. And if the Supreme Court, ladies and gentlemen, say, yeah, he can do this, our Constitution, as we've known it, is basically going to change forever. It will not be the Constitution that the framers of our government, our country, thought of. Right.
Elon Musk wasn't just out to defend his reputation, he was coming straight for the wallets, all of them. A $200 million defamation lawsuit isn't something you fix with a fruit basket and a half-hearted apology. It's the kind of move that throws HR into panic mode, triggers emergency budget meetings, and makes sponsors vanish quicker than a failed SpaceX launch. And if you're wondering what exactly The View said to set off this corporate-level meltdown, well, pretty much everything. They've spent years turning Elon into their favorite verbal punching bag, mocking his projects, guessing his motives, painting him like some cartoon Bond villain. It became their go-to content, but Elon clearly decided the joke was done, and the check was due. Suddenly, ABC, the network behind The View, was stuck between two bad choices, keeping the chaos or paying the price. Behind the scenes, execs were already crunching the numbers. Legal fees, possible settlements, PR disasters, and let's just say, none of it screamed good news. When your most viral segment is followed by a legal invoice big enough to buy an island, it might be time to rethink the script.
Misinformation is another person's information. At the point at which you said that there is, this is misinformation, like, who is going to decide that?
You accept that misinformation can be dangerous, that it can cause real-world harms, that it can potentially cause...
Yeah, so the point I'm trying to make is that the BBC itself has, at times, published things that are false. Do you agree that that has occurred?
I'm quite sure the BBC have said things before that turn out to not be true.
Correct.
It is, whatever it is, 100-year history, I'm quite sure.
Yes. Even if you aspire to be accurate.
Behind the scenes, it was full-blown chaos. Producers were scrambling through old episodes, hoping they didn't actually compare Musk to a Bond villain on a flamethrower, while editors were wiping the archives like they were hiding classified files. Even the wardrobe team was probably questioning if someone could sue over fashion violations alone. Meanwhile, Elon, he was thriving. For once, he didn't need to drop a meme to steal the spotlight. The lawsuit was the headline. And let's be real, there's nothing Elon enjoys more than being the main character of planet Earth. While the host kept up the everything's fine act on camera, Musk was probably 3 espresso martinis deep, watching reruns and calculating. Damages insult by insult. But here's where it really gets good. This wasn't just about bruised egos. Elon's legal team came in strong, arguing that the show's constant jabs had crossed the line from satire into full-blown reputation. Sabotage. When the same crew keeps painting you as unhinged, unstable, or low-key controlling the moon, okay, maybe not the moon, but you get the point. It starts to feel like a personal hit job, especially when it's going out to millions every single day on a network with reach as massive as Musk's ego.
Yes, well, this is not something you should import from America. Please don't import the woke mind virus. It's bad. So, I mean, essentially, to summarize maybe the woke mind virus, it consists of creating very, very divisive identity politics. So it actually amplifies, woke mind virus, in my view, amplifies racism, amplifies frankly, sexism, and all the isms.
And let's not forget about the sponsors. Yeah, those lovely brands shelling out big bucks to air their ads during The View's regularly scheduled chaos. They're not exactly fans of legal drama, especially the kind that comes with a $200 million price tag. Within weeks, some started quietly backing away. Because really, who wants their toothpaste ad playing right before someone's accused of defaming a billionaire who launches rockets and basically owns the internet? That's when the slow shuffle began. Advertisers tiptoeing out, PR teams running damage control, and network execs who used to laugh off the show's daily mess suddenly acting allergic to controversy. Behind the scenes, whispers started getting louder. Was The View still watchable? Sure, but cancelable. Not because of culture wars or bad ratings, but because Elon Musk just turned their casual jabs into a financial grenade. Suddenly, everything that defined the show, the opinions, the drama, the group therapy disguised as news, was looking like a liability. This wasn't just a lawsuit, it was a full-blown reality check for every smug panelist who thought hot. Takes came without a price, because when you go after a billionaire who literally invented reusable rockets, don't be surprised if he treats your budget like one.
It's pretty much an echo chamber with The View, and with all of the things that have been said. Ronnie T-Shirt's talking on this program about how Whoopi Goldberg was concerned that Donald Trump is going to break up interracial marriages for some reason, which I still don't know where that came from. But the one thing that you did know for sure is that it was going to get a little hysterical over there. Let's check in with the ladies of The View and see how they processed this yesterday.
And here's the twist. Elon probably doesn't even care about the money. When you're worth more than some actual countries, $200 million is basically pocket change. This was about making a point, sending a message, and reminding everyone, especially daytime TV, that non-stop mockery might finally come with a price tag. So what now? Best case for The View, they shell out a fortune, drop some hollow statement about journalistic standards, and limp into the next season with fewer sponsors and way more lawyers. Worst case, this lawsuit sets off a chain reaction, more legal heat, more public scrutiny, and maybe even the end of the line, because let's be real, they never saw this coming. They figured at most they'd get a few angry tweets, maybe a meme or two, not a full-blown legal strike from the guy who builds rockets between trolling sessions. This wasn't just a lawsuit, it was a calculated financial takedown, one sarcastic segment at a time. And while they scrambled behind the scenes, Elon took flight. Social media exploded with support, laughter, and memes so wild they probably gave Disney's legal team a collective migraine. He didn't even need to say a word. The headline alone, Elon Musk sues The View for $200 million, was enough to set the internet on fire.
Well, Liz, you know, TV hosts get it wrong occasionally, but this one was a doozy.
Oh, this was deliberate. We all know that Musk derangement syndrome has taken off since Trump made it to the White House and decided to make this guy his sidekick. Lefties love to hate him. So, of course, that includes the panel of The View, but none more so than Joy Behar, who decided to just go full misinformation, disinformation, spouting her hatred for one Elon Musk.
And just like that, a $200 million lawsuit flipped daytime talk from live, laugh, love to lawyers, lawsuits, liability. Suddenly, those comfy coffee table chats don't feel so safe when one billionaire rolls in with the legal version of a tactical nuke. And let's be honest, this wasn't about one offhand segment. It was the constant drip of smug takes, the daily mix of sass and superiority aimed at a guy who, for once, had both the cash and the guts to say, nope, this one's gonna cost you. This isn't a wrist slap, it's a full-blown wake up. call for the media, delivered not with a subpoena, but with a smirk. Now, every network running those morning panel shows is probably sweating over whether their next snarky comment comes with a six-figure invoice. Talk shows used to be the padded playgrounds for over-the-top opinions and half-baked rants. But Musk just made it clear, play stupid games, get sued by a rocket man. And here's the real twist. Are we watching a guy stand up for his name? Or is this the first strike in a billionaire crackdown on media freedom, starring lawsuits, side eyes, and silenced sarcasm? Because yeah, there's something kind of dystopian about a world where the richest man alive decides who gets to criticize him, especially when he already owns the loudest mic on the internet and now wants to quiet the daytime drama too. The ripple effect? It's coming hard. Late night writers are probably scrubbing old jokes, podcast hosts are rereading their scripts, and your favorite snarky YouTuber? They're low-key considering switching to cooking content.
Was not born in this country, who was born under apartheid in South Africa, so has that mentality going on. He was pro-apartheid, as I understand it. Now I'm getting some flack because I said that Musk was pro-apartheid. I don't really know for sure if he was. He grew up at that time when apartheid was in full bloom, before the great Nelson Mandela fixed that. He was around at that time, but maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. He might have been a young guy, too.
Might have been.
So don't be suing me, okay, Elon?
A very verbose way of saying, I just made that up. Imagine if each of us were responsible and clearly supported whatever was going on in our nation of birth.
Well, you know, Joy Behar was born in 1942, and I think Hitler was running around the world in 1942, wasn't he? Oh, she must be a Nazi. For goodness sake, how dumb can you get?
The real fear here isn't losing a lawsuit, it's catching one. Because let's be honest, most creators can't even afford to breathe near a lawyer, let alone survive a $200 million legal brawl. And the wildest part, Musk might not even care about winning. Winning isn't the point. This is about sending a message so loud it drowns out the studio laughter. File the suit, trigger the panic, then sit back as networks start censoring themselves faster than a kid closing weird tabs. When mom walks in, whether it's from gag orders or just plain fear, the result is the same. Bold voices go quiet, funny turns safe, and the fearless start uploading pet videos. And then there's The View, once untouchable, thriving on hot takes and caffeine-fueled takedowns. To them, it was just another Tuesday. Mock the billionaire, toss in some sass, cut to commercial. But instead of laughs, they got lawsuits. Instead of claps, subpoenas. Now that empire of loud opinions is staring down an identity crisis with mounting legal bills on the side. While they were handing out judgments like Halloween candy, the richest man on earth decided he was done being the punchline. And he didn't tweet, didn't yell, he responded with something no talk show is ready for real consequences. The kind that don't just sting, they sink. And the irony? Perfect. A show built on throwing punches is now wobbling from one well-aimed hit. Turns out when the noise gets too loud, sometimes silence sounds like a billionaire calmly dragging you into court. One day you're topping the ratings, the next you're topping the defendant list. Elon didn't shut them up, he hit back with billion-dollar precision. And whether you're a fan or not, you've got to admit it was like watching a lion tear through a balloon animal. So now The View stands at the edge. Once the queen of daytime drama, now flirting with daytime disaster, all because they underestimated a billionaire with unlimited resources and a personal score to settle. Who knew the road to daytime ruin would be paved with cheap digs and ceramic coffee mugs? While the audience clutches their pearls and the execs clutch the budget sheets, Elon's probably already off building brain chips for goldfish or trying to power cities with moonlight. One thing's for sure, if you thought daytime TV was dramatic before, wait till you see what happens when your punchline sues back. Congrats, The View. You might be the first talk show to get financially body slammed by a meme-loving rocket man.